While walking the pier on a summer's day, water diamonds sparkled on the ocean. People ambled aimlessly along in the warm sun. A day made for couples, lovers, and loners. Looking along the seacoast, I thought at least 1 million brain cells got fried after last night's alcoholic excesses. Peering over the rail, random thoughts of food came, then disappeared into a wispy spray. Suddenly, starving, eating became a priority. Perhaps a juicy hamburger, anything to fill the void. Unconsciously, I headed for a favorite spot. Most people would have passed it by. 2 dusty windows, one either side of an old steel door, framed the entrance. Peering in through the unwashed glass, it looked small and dingy. Once inside, it was cavernous. A postcard that had been immediately next door was now gone. In the old days, you could have bought a kite there, browsed among the trinkets, or sat on a stool looking vacant as you sipped coffee. The eatery had eaten it up. Things change. On the back wall of the restaurant was a large carving of some kind of bluefish. Below the fish was a small stage which did not come alive until very late. It was one of a number of illegal nightclubs in the area that police ignored. Musicians from all genres visited, some to listen and others to strut their stuff. Fans hummed quietly as I waited for my order. At the same time, my saturated mind was engrossed in thought and about to touch upon the intangible when food arrived. All manner of thinking ceased. Not a greasy burger, but what the menu called the captain's plate: breaded oysters, clams, scallop, shrimp, and fries. I ordered another Bloody Mary, beer with tomato juice. When finished, left the restaurant feeling fat and with the knowledge that there was a good chance I'd be back sometime in the late evening. Strolling a couple 100 paces along the walkway, I paused, turned into a small alcove, inserted a key, entered, and then vanished as the door swung shut. The noise of the street diminished. Climbed the stairs, turned right, walked past several numbered apartments, and stopped at number 11. Went inside. A train slowly rumbled by, drowning out the dim from below. Slowly the activity of the street floated up, and a grayish-blue ocean came into view. I lay on the bed with a bottle of wine. At some point it migrated to a side table. Silence fell, and except for drink-induced snoring, the world fell away, and I was home again. A dark, cruel place where anxieties cackled incoherently, whispering undefinable untruths of not good enough, no, never, not you. On waking, memories spilled from the corners of my mind and disappeared down a long-forgotten river filled with angst. I felt edgy. Rising, I could see many pale moons shining in the night. The street lights were on. Time, where does it go? And can you ever catch it? I wondered as I shuffled to the kitchen and reached for one of 3 glasses which were stubbornly stuck to the counter. Mother would say, if you live like a pig, you'll die like a pig. Whatever, who knows? But I did have a thought. Perhaps I should clean soon. Funny how voices from the past creep to the floor. In one of the closets was a second-hand upright Hoover vacuum. I purchased it from a local repair shop. It was solid. When turned on, it had a strong, low hum, not like today's irritatingly noisy machines. Well, this wasn't the time for cleaning. I headed out. The pub down the street was my first stop because they sold jugs of cheap beer. It was frequented by locals. I struck up a few acquaintances and every now and then engaged in hit-and-run conversations. Not a hard and fast rule, but I tended to avoid chatting with women. Generally, they asked a lot of questions, most of which I skirted with vague answers. When cornered, I would find a so sorry alibi about why I had to leave and then depart as softly as possible. I definitely didn't want to get tangled up in the trials and tribulations of someone else's life. I was footloose, carefree, and had no wish to change. It was during one of those conversations of inquisition that I escaped outside and got lost in the beauty of the night. Thinking strategically, I thought I might head farther afield to another late-night establishment. On the way, I'd pass my place and could pop in for a glass of wine, refuel, so to speak. I could hear the ocean swishing along the shore and decided to cross the tracks for a closer look. Phosphorescent waves shimmered along the seacoast, alive with resplendent colors under the glow of a harvest moon. It was spectacular and breathtaking. After a time, I abandoned my spot on the beach and headed for the apartment. Once inside, went to the balcony, unfolded a rickety wooden chair that I had liberated from the garbage bin, sat there with a flagon of wine, watching the iridescent water diamonds sparkle ashore. There, in the shadows, I reflected on the now and of the days long past. My eyes closed. I awoke sometime later, stiff and cold, stumbled to bed and thought to call Molly Maid or some other cleaning service when I regained consciousness. As I slipped deeper into sleep, a vision of Mother appeared, speaking sternly about my idea of hiring a cleaning company, where she said, "It's better than not," which meant that was not good enough, and all the while the winds of change blew in through the open patio doors.